Welcome back to TSN's coverage. Game 1, the Women's World Cup from Helsingborg, Sweden, as the Canadians and the English line up at center field. Let's take a look at the starting 11 for Canada and head coach Sylvie Bellevaux.
And this is the same team as faced the USA in Edmonton. Carla Chin gets the nod in goal. Stonebus, Hooper, Ring, Neal and Donnelly, Wood, O'Brien, Kelly, Ross, and of course the striking star Silvana Burtini.
The starting 11 for England and their manager, Ted Copeland.
Well, Ted Copeland's squad over here is very much an unknown quantity, but look for number 6, Gillian Coulthard, and number 8, the skipper, Deborah Bampton.
Just about ready to play, and there's the whistle. The referee is from Sweden, that is Eva Odland. The near side linesperson is from Korea Republic. Far side linesman is from Peru, the 4th official from Thailand. And there is Angela Kelly with the immediate throw in. We're just underway. Canada's first game. The English failed to qualify for the World Cup in '91 that was played in China. They won their 95 European qualifying group, beating Spain, Belgium, and Slovenia. So from a team that failed to qualify, they came through a pretty impressive group, Graham, in getting by Spain and Belgium in particular.
Very impressive, but they had to get past Canada today, and Canada, as we expected, taking the game to England early on.
Andrea Neal with the cross into the box, and it will be cleared by Marie-Anne Spacey. Kathy Ross, the Canadian starting right fullback, up and pressing through midfield. This Olympia Stadium in Helsingborg seating approximately 16,000. With her first touch, this is Charmaine Hooper, the 27-year-old, and gets a little push in the back from Tina Mates out of Croydon. And there's our first look at the referee in her black and yellow, Eva Odland of Sweden. Geraldine Donnelly ahead for Helen Stombos. Back to defend Samantha Britton. And it will go as a corner, an early corner for Canada.
Good aggressive play by Helen Stombos, but it eventually goes for a goal kick. She thought she'd knocked it back off number 4, Samantha Britton. I thought she'd done the same thing. The whole ball didn't seem to be over the line, but nevertheless, it goes for a goal kick. And as you'd expect, with both sides making the first appearance in the World Cup, a little edgy, nervous start. It'll take a little while for them to settle down. Probably a very tight first half with neither side prepared to make a mistake.
Silvana Burtini putting the pressure on the defender Brenda Semper. And now this will go as a Canadian corner, no doubt, as you take a look at the Canadian head coach. That is Sylvie Bellevaux. Alongside her assistant is David Dew. High expectations for this Canadian women's team. Angela Kelly with the throw in.
Well, Angela quite capable of taking a long throw in, nodded on by Silvana Burtini, but cleared by England.
Michelle Ring moves up, clears it to midfield, and now here comes the English on this near side. Tina Mates through for number 14. And now turning and bringing it the other way, Veronica O'Brien for Canada, the 24-year-old from Orangeville, Ontario. Through midfield. At midfield, Charmaine Hooper now. And this is a position I wouldn't expect to see Hooper in, Graham, back at midfield. But look at the great run now as Tina Mapes. The cross is behind Burtini. A good run by Hooper, who took the ball from midfield. Now the long ball in, and it goes wide of this near post. The 26-year-old Pauline Cope is the starting goalkeeper for England. She plays out of Arsenal. Angela Kelly can't control. Burtini giving chase, and Samantha Britton will play it all the way back for her keeper, Cope. Played 5 minutes. Played square. Moving up is Andrea Neal into the area. And over the head of Burtini and Stumbos. And then from the right wing, up comes Angela Kelly. But the early pressure is by Canada in this opening game of the Women's World Cup.
Canada's certainly off to a very good start, a confident start. They've had most of the ball, and it's perhaps England who look rather more nervous than do Canada.
Over the head of Janine Wood. And coming over, Michelle Ring to push it into touch. Karen Farley will leave it for Tina Mapes. Karen Walker, top of the area and by Karen Burke for England. Burtini for Canada couldn't get there in time. This is Burke. And then Farley comes across.
Good challenge there. Unfortunately, it's made from behind and the free kick given to England.
Janine Wood with the tackle for Canada. Marie-Anne Spacey to the far post. Oh, it got by Carla Chin under the challenge. The 29-year-old Carla Chin, the starting keeper, an all-Canadian out of McMaster.
Very, very quick off a line, but lacks height, and the lack of height showed up on that attempt to clear the cross.
Marie-Anne Spacey with the corner. Oh, and it'll rattle around again over Chin and then over the bar.
And once again, Carla Chin's lack of inches proving a little bit of a handicap as she goes up for the cross, but fails to reach it by about 3 inches.
It actually appeared to, when it came down, go off a Canadian head and up and over. Chin, currently an assistant coach at the University of Notre Dame. And she gets the start ahead of Wendy Hawthorne, the long time, I think by most people, considered the #1 keeper on the Canadian national side. But we saw an indication in Edmonton, of course, in that final tune-up against the United States that Chin might have the edge. She got the start there as well.
Well, I hope Wendy gets into this World Cup because she's been a stalwart for Canada in goal for many, many years. And this, of course, was her dream to play in the World Cup. Let's hope she gets a chance.
Burtini lays it back for Geraldine Donnelly. This is Angela Kelly wide right. Angela Kelly, but a lovely tackle by Marie-Anne Spacey, who gets back.
And the noise that you can hear in the background is made by that gentleman. I keep wanting to break for lunch when I hear that.
That's right. It's either that or there's an air raid over Helsingborg.
Well, it's not tough to hear everything said in this stadium. It holds 16,000 and there's roughly about 700 spectators on hand today.
Jillian Coulthard lays it off for Spacey. And now they'll go all the way back to their keeper, Pauline Cope. Still early, first half. Opening game, 1995 Women's World Cup of Soccer. Canada against England. Claire Taylor. Mapes through the middle, and it'll squirt to just by Charmaine Hooper. Good play by Jillian Coulthard. Showed a lot of courage as Kelly had gotten the boot up, and she just put her head right in. Andrea Neal. And what do you think about Hooper? There again, an indication that Hooper is hanging back a little bit, Graham.
Well, she's getting a little more space there. She plays where she normally plays in the middle of the park. England seem to be blocking up the middle of the park, but giving just a little bit of room in the wings. And twice already, we've seen Charmaine break from that wing position.
Veronica O'Brien, and there's an air ball, and just over the bar, punched over by Colleen Cope. As Veronica O'Brien took a chance, trying to catch Cope off the line. 10 minutes gone, still no score.
And it looked very much as if Pauline Cope hooked her hand against the crossbar as she tipped that shot over.
Stombos, the 24-year-old from Guelph, Ontario, into the area. Hooper trying to control, trying to turn, and then is surrounded and finally gives it up. Karen Burke for England. What a neat little run now by Geraldine Donnelly. Top of the area again, and it'll this time go over the byline, and it'll be the goal kick for Pauline Cope, but the Canadians with the pressure now on England. You see Veronica O'Brien just in front of the keeper Cope, sensing that the Canadians might be able to capitalize with their pressure. Again with the corner, Stumbos, far post. And cleared away by the English.
And every white shirt on the field was back in the goal area there. The English coach, Ted Copeland, not at all afraid to bring every white shirt back.
Burtini, Angela Kelly, and will this one go for another corner? Off the defender's foot.
And Helen Stumbos, pretty busy young lady already. She takes the corner kicks from both sides.
Stumbos, the 24-year-old, plays her club soccer with the Kitchener Spirit, a 4-time CIAU All-Canadian. This is her 17th international. And now the Canadians a little short at the back as Marianne Spacey brings it to midfield. Kathy Ross there to meet her, but look at the speed of Spacey, and a nice tackle by Kathy Ross.
Great tackle by Kathy Ross because she was coming in from behind, had to be timed perfectly.
Carla Chin makes her home, Canadian home, in Aurora, Ontario. To midfield, hooked back by Donnelly of Canada. Oh, lovely little touch now as Jillian Coulthard tried to slide it through and could not. Tina Mapes, the throw in for England. Farley. One thing I've noticed, though, of the English, they haven't been able to penetrate the middle yet. Everything of theirs in the Canadian end zone has really become from the wings, Greg.
Well, the back four for Canada, Ross, Ring, Wood, and Neal, have played together for at least the last 6 games. They know each other very well. They cover very well, just like there. And of course, Carla Chin plays like a sweeper at the back. Very quick off the line. She reads the game very well. Tiny little goalkeeper, but she's very, very clever at reading the game.
Too far for Stumbos of Canada. Britain. Cleared away at the top of the area. Janine Wood ahead for Stumbos, and then she looked to feed it through the middle for Silvana Burtini, and that didn't work. And the English not afraid to go all the way back to start over right from their keeper, Pauline Cope. To midfield. Kelly nods it forward. And then behind, Charmaine Hooper. Chin. O'Brien flicks it forward, had Stumbos, but she couldn't control. Claire Taylor clears for the English. Stumbos. I don't know if it's just the way the ball, but it would appear the field team's a little bit bumpy. They just can't get the proper control. Far sideline, well played by Karen Walker of England to play it back. At midfield, nice job by Geraldine Donnelly to come back for Canada. Deborah Bampton of England battles with Stumbos as you look at the English bench and their manager, Ted Copeland. And the referee is reaching in the pocket for a yellow against Helen Stumbos.
And that seemed to me to be just a little bit severe. Both pushing and shoving for the ball. No intent to injure there at all. And we're going to have a lot of yellow cards today if that's going to be the criterion.
The referee is from Sweden, Eva Odlund. Charmaine Hooper, and the foul is given.
Both sides doing a good job of coming back goal side when they lose possession. English shots back already, and as soon as they give up the ball, then it's a break.
Tina Mapes, wide right, far post, and up goes Carla Chin and withstands the challenge, as it was Karen Farley who came in.
Well, this is a high cross. Carla Chin gets up well, but there's no question that Farley came in and made contact with the goalkeeper. Free kick. And Helen Stumbos now will be a little more cautious in her tackling, having had that yellow card given a couple of minutes ago.
Burtini can't control.
Play by Britton.
Samantha Britton to midfield. Charmaine Hooper, oh my goodness, Charmaine Hooper comes together with Tina Mapes.
And anyone who said that it's not such a physical game, the Women's World Cup, have a look at this. 2 players determined to get the ball, Mapes and Hooper. That's a great challenge by both players. Sylvie not looking quite so happy as she did in the first 10 minutes as England begin to sort of get a little bit more ascendancy in midfield.
Angela Kelly called for the foul on Gillian Coulthard of England.
And Deborah Bampton wanting to take it quickly. The rest of the English squad not at all ready for it.
Marianne Spacey. Over the head of Farley.
Andy Neal complaining bitterly that she was given a little bit of a push as that ball was coming over, but no whistle. Luckily that came to naught.
The opening game, Women's World Cup. From Helsingborg, Sweden, Canada in a group along with Nigeria and the 1991 runners-up from Norway. Donnelly chips it forward.
Unlucky.
Unlucky for Veronica O'Brien. But you do sense, and I think you're correct, that the English, having survived that first 10 to 15 minutes, gaining a little bit of confidence now.
And the English squad not at all afraid to knock that long ball just over the centre-backs onto the edge of the box. So Carla Chin will have to be alert. She's very good at that, though. She's very good at coming out for these through balls.
Nice throw in, Charmaine Hooper to Burtini, and then on for Angela Kelly. And it just failed to go as the Canadians worked it very nicely.
Beautifully read by Marie-Anne Spacey, who got back to fill the hole just in time.
Janine Wood gives away the throw-in to England. Farley, Britain, and the foul will go against Canada and Geraldine Donnelly.
And already we've seen that number 8, Deborah Bampton, seems to be the general in midfield. Tall, strong midfielder, loves to come forward.
Spacey.
Oh, not a bad effort. A little ambitious, but nevertheless, not a bad effort. No problem for Carla Chin, who had it well covered, but
Kathy Ross flicks it forward, looking for Silvana Burtini. Coulthard throws it right back. Michelle Ring out of Vancouver in the Surrey Marlins. Kathy Ross can't turn, rattles it off of Spacey. Then it's neatly heeled back by Farley to Spacey. And finally cleared by Canada to midfield as the Canadians now on their heels. As Coulthard looked to get through. But Janine Wood was there step for step.
great tackle by Janine Wood, just enough to make Coulthard fall off balance, goes for a goal kick. Canada will have to be very careful. Coulthard drifts in behind defenders so well. Small player, but very strong, very tough to knock off the ball.
Charmaine Hooper tried to break through. Karen Burke. Samantha Britton. Brenda Semper. That'll run too far. Janine Wood. Geraldine Donnelly. Andrea Neal for Canada. Trying to direct traffic and now looking for Silvana Burtini. And it'll go as a Canadian throw-in.
And the English squad right now have drifted back into a 3-4-3 formation with Samper, Britton and Taylor the back three.
Silvana Burtini. Burtini gets around the defender, cuts it back in front and behind Charmaine Hooper, who had really moved up and maybe a little too tight to that far post.
Great play by Silvana Burtini, but when she cut it back, Charmaine had gone in a little too early. And a similar situation here.
Oh, and getting up, Karen Walker with the header to put it up and over the bar. So chances at both ends as it starts to open up here in Helsingborg.
Good covering by Veronica O'Brien to cut off the line to the striker coming forward. Marianne Spacey gets back to help her back three and really gets forward on the overlaps. Both English fullbacks, Karen Walker and Marianne Spacey, love to come forward on the wings. So the Canadian back four have to be very, very careful. And I know it's a cliche, but it's been said so often. The first game today will be so very important. First World Cup for both teams. It'll settle that team down a little earlier than the other one.
There you see the time, 25 minutes played in this opening half in Helsingborg.
And really neither goalkeeper has been tested, as both sets of defenses have done an excellent job.
At midfield, and the whistle from Eva Odland. There's a look at Silvana Burtini, 26-year-old, out of the Surrey Marlins. She has scored 10 goals internationally for Canada, now in her 22nd international appearance. Following up is Andrea Neal for Hooper, and look at the marking on Hooper. They've obviously watched the films, the English. They know that Hooper is the go-to person when it comes to Canada. Karen Farley, edge of the area, and Farley will be called for the foul.
She really is an aggressive front runner. It's a good challenge here, but the foot comes up a little too late and the free kick given to Canada.
Slow to get up, Janine Wood, the 25-year-old from Edmonton, plays her club soccer with the Edmonton Angels. 4-time CIU All-Canadian at the University of Alberta.
She combines really well with Michelle Ring at the back for Canada. They cover each other well, they talk to each other. Really a strong duo in centre-back.
Laid back for Neal, the left fullback, following up, looking for Kelly, doesn't get through. Now Michelle Ring tries it optimistically. Been impressed by the way the English have been able to get back. I would have expected a little bit more speed from the Canadians up front, but they've been matched by the speed of the English getting back.
Plus the fact the English have loaded midfield. So the supply is being cut out early. As number 10, Karen Burke, gets a chance, but really not a very good finish. And obviously the Liverpool that Karen plays for is not the famous Reds at Anfield.
Kelly has a look for Hooper and Stombos, both up front. Not a bad idea. Two Canadians against two white shirts in the area. Following up is O'Brien. This is Stombos. Kelly. Oh, poor Angela Kelly just isn't going to get up when it comes to Samantha Britton, who is at least a head taller. And now it's Karen Farley, the 24-year-old. From Hammarby. She plays Her soccer in Europe, Hammarby.
Well, obviously, number 14, Kathy Ross, came in more determined to get Farley than the ball on that occasion. And Eva Udland, the Swedish referee, quick to blow it down. Certainly, the intensity and the pace in this game has to be appreciated. The nerves have settled down a little bit now and they're beginning to put 2-3 passes together. That's an awkward ball.
Tina Mapes looking for Farley. Michelle Ring following her back.
And I think that England, with Britton and Taylor and Bampton, have got just a little bit of an edge in the goal area on corner kicks.
Spacey, Chin is out, still loose and finally gathered in as it took a friendly hop and came back into the arms of Carla Chin.
Well, Carla does ever so well here. She gets a challenge just as she goes for the ball, grabs the rebound before the white shirt can get it. And Canada survives another attack.
15 minutes remaining in this opening half. Game 1 of the 1995 Women's World Cup of Soccer. Canada against England. Hope to midfield and the challenge from behind against Canada.
I was just going to say what a great challenge by Veronica O'Brien. She got up cleanly, headed the ball cleanly, and for some reason or other drew the whistle.
Spacey had a thought. Now to that far post and cleared away by Kathy Ross.
These are awkward balls that Marie-Anne Spacey curves into the far corner of the penalty box. The Canadian defenders facing their own goal makes it very difficult to clear.
And Spacey will move up and take this corner for England. Headed back and over the bar as it appeared that Karen Burke had gotten up, as well as Karen Farley.
Dangerous in-swinger with the left foot. Once again, Carla Chin at a disadvantage against the tall white shirts, but it goes behind for a goal kick. Certainly England had the advantage, and that was a brilliant corner kick by Marie-Anne Spacey. Left footer, in-swinger, very dangerous. Ooh, that's not a very good clearance by Samper.
Ross moving up. Hooper can't get there for Canada. It'll fall in between Karen Burke and trying to bring it upfield Coulthard, and she's quickly stopped by Angela Kelly. Very close in midfield. Still no score. Veronica O'Brien hears the shout from Hooper, who has dropped right back now, almost into the back four. Here's Burtini. Stumbos is on her right. Silvana Burtini to the line. The cross. Far post and hooked away. Hooper will try for Canada, and it's high and wide. 27-year-old Charmaine Hooper from Ottawa, who plays her soccer with Tokyo Shidaks. 22 goals internationally. In her 36th international. Two-time All-American at North Carolina State.
And right now, drifting back a little more into midfield to give us some space. Virtually changed places with Helen Stumbos, who's now playing up front with Silvana Burtini. Silvana Burtini looks very impressive when she runs one-on-one with number 3, Tina Mapes, on the left wing. They should try and isolate her out here. 2 super crosses already.
Veronica O'Brien couldn't control on this near sideline. Throw in for England. And then coming over neatly, Michelle Ring. Bampton will leave it.
can hear Ted Copeland saying, work it up the line.
Karen Farley, Michelle Ring over, as well as Janine Wood defensively for Canada. Farley looking for the corner.
And I tend to agree with Karen Farley that she should have got a corner kick there. Well, tough to judge from there. The ball going over the line doesn't tell us anything unless we saw who touched it.
Got a good look at this Olympia Stadium in Helsingborg. On this near sideline, it is all seating, and then on the ends and on the far sideline looks to be mostly terraces. 16,000 it seats and stands. Only a few hundred, some 700 on hand for this opening game between England and Canada.
We're really not totally unexpected. When I played in the Men's World Cup in '58 in Sweden, the crowds for the first round games were very small. Crowds will pick up in Sweden when they get past the preliminary rounds, when it gets into the quarterfinals, semifinals, and the final, I'm sure, will be well attended.
But by comparison, the crowds minute to those of China 4 years ago when they had 50, 60,000 for all the games. But of course, a different scenario there. They don't ask you to go, they tell you.
Well, Scandinavia is a hotbed of women's soccer. Sweden, Norway, Finland, Denmark, they're all pretty strong, and really you'd expect England to be a little stronger than Canada, simply because the level of competition for England is greater than the level of competition for Canada. USA the exception, of course.
Well, in fact, Hammarby, as we mentioned, or Farley plays for Hammarby, which is in the Scandinavian leagues. And many of the U.S. players, as we've seen, play their club soccer in Scandinavia. As the captain, Geraldine Donnelly, goes down for Canada out of Port Moody, BC. 43rd international for Donnelly.
And Sylvie certainly doesn't want to have Ger Donnelly come out of the game. She's very, very important in midfield, the most experienced player. And she's a vital cog for Sylvie Bennebrook. And this is something you don't see too often, a timeout in soccer. Sylvie Bellevaux, obviously quite pleased with the way Canada's been playing so far, takes her first half timeout just to have a little chat and say, okay, let's see if we can get that goal, that go-ahead goal before halftime.
And this is a FIFA experiment to see whether timeouts would work, even at the men's level. Each team given one timeout per half. There you see some of the Canadian family, friends, supporters on hand in Helsingborg.
What a big thrill for these young ladies to play in the World Cup. Sylvie has done a good job getting them this far, and if she can get through to the quarterfinals, that'll be a major feather in her cap. England, of course, in this group you expect to go through.
Their manager, Teddy Copeland.
Maybe the timeout is to get them a drink without throwing all these bottles on and off the field that we tend to see in warmer climates.
Encouraging support, always up of the ball. If it's going into there, can you help it? If it's going into there, can you help it?
There certainly does, though, look to be a height advantage. When you look at the two teams at field level, the height advantage is in England's favor.
And yet Canada have been very successful at pushing the ball along the ground. They look more comfortable at the short passes than England do. Although England's style, I suppose, is the long pass, and the advantage in the air, especially with 4, 8, and 14, is quite significant. So time out is over. They've had their drinks. The strategies have been discussed. Interesting to hear Ted Copeland say, look, when somebody gets possession, you've got to go and support them. You can't leave her on her own. You've got to go and help.
Stumbos, hoping that Hooper would make the run around the defender and back to this near sideline. O'Brien with the throw in for Canada. Hooper and quickly surrounded. Michelle Ring gets all turned around. This is Karen Farley. Karen Farley with Andrea Neal chasing. And doing well to come back and join defensively Janine Wood. Farley for Mapes. Stumbos gets back to get a foot in.
Well, that must be very pleasing for Sylvie Billivore to see Helen Stumbos come back and tackle there. Stumbos right now has the responsibility of being one of the goal scorers, yet she comes back and helps. Good spirit in this Canadian team.
Burke, far post. Oh, very well played by Carla Chin under the pressure. Gillian Coulthard had moved up, as well as Karen Walker.
Watch Carla come out in front of the white shirt this time. Last two, she tried to reach over the top of the white shirt, couldn't quite make it. Good goalkeeping to come out and get there before the white shirt. Obviously, the English coach, Ted Copeland, has said to his front runners, look, it's only a teeny small goalkeeper. Let's knock the high balls in and challenge. Let's see if we can get some knockdowns. But Carla already has learned that if she comes out in front of the challenger, then she's got a much better advantage.
5 minutes remaining in this opening half, opening game for Canada in this Women's World Cup in Sweden. Pauline Cope. Midfield looking for Farley, and then Farley put the shoulder into Stumbos. Andrea Neal plays it square. O'Brien through the middle. Nice little touch on. Then the dummy for Stumbos just fails to work. Charmaine Hooper had the idea. Tina Mapes, the 24-year-old from Croydon, has seen a lot of the play.
And says, come on, guys, we need some movement. Move around. I got nobody to throw it to.
Hooper flicks it back into the middle, looking for Stumbos, following up Donnelly as she looks for Angela Kelly. Tendency, though, this English side is Ross curves it in, skips by Stumbos, and not far enough for Burtini. But the tendency for this English side, as I say this, they want to come down the right wing more than the left.
Andy Neal with a little tug there as she was struggling to keep up with Marie-Anne Spacey.
The referee, Ava Odland, checking her watch as we're nearing the end of this first half of play. Looking for Karen Walker, and she went down. This is the Canadian captain, Donnelly, to the right wing. Stumbos now hurrying to get away and gets away from Coulthard. Stumbos. That's interesting. You would have thought she'd play advantage there. Kathy Ross moves up. Out of Coquitlam, the Coquitlam Strikers, Kathy Ross. Final few moments of this opening half from Helsingborg. Stumbos, her cross fails to get through. One more time, looking for Hooper. Can't control. We got horns and sirens, but no goals so far late in this opening half. Hooks it, has Hooper. Hooper looks, lovely play. Charmaine Hooper inside, outside, Taylor, Charmaine Hooper.
Oh my. Well, there's no way in the world that shouldn't have brought a whistle. Charmaine Hooper clean through. And number 3, Mapes, just left a foot in there, right on the edge of the box. And Sylvie Belleville a little annoyed that the whistle didn't go. I can't understand that decision.
Karen Burke retreats for England after making the run. Donnelly, Kelly Stumbos, Kathy Ross. Too far for Kelly, breaking down that right wing. Into time added on in this first half, and that timeout will likely add some time. At midfield, Spacey finds space down that right wing. Ahead of Ross, played into the middle for Bampton. And Carla Chin guarding that near post. And Spacey. Marie-Anne Spacey is face down.
There's the result of a late challenge. Advantage to England, so no whistle.
And going into the book is Geraldine Donnelly, the Canadian captain.
And that's good refereeing by Eva Odland. She allowed England the advantage, but then went back and booked Ger Donnelly.
Looked like Geraldine Donnelly threw more of a shoulder.
A hip check, I thought. But then it's maybe the hockey playoff season.
That's it.
And certainly the rugby season with the World Cup in South Africa, because half of these English ladies are wearing headbands.
O'Brien, top of the area. Stumbos hooked it back, but no support by the Canadians. Now this is Ross. Once again, chips it through, and you can hear Pauline Cope calling for it and saying it's all mine.
I think the reason there was no support for the Canadians there is that Sylvia Billabo has said to her squad, look, in the last 2 minutes we don't want to give away a goal, so I want to make sure that there's plenty of red shirts back there. We don't want to be caught just before halftime on a breakaway like this.
Like this, indeed. Karen Burke trying to sneak through and find some space between 3 Canadian defenders.
But there's the operative phrase, 3 Canadian defenders. Sylvia making very sure that they're nice and tight at the back in this last seconds of the first half.
Spacey, this is Britain. And there is Silvana Burtini fighting for every inch in these final seconds of the opening half in this first game of the Women's World Cup.
I think they have to give a free kick there as Karen Walker came in very, very strongly against Andy Neal. Really, the advantage minimal.
Another quick look at the watch by Eva Odland. We're into more than 3 minutes. Time added on here in this first half.
But of course, it's going to take more than 45 minutes because of the new timeouts.
Andrea Neal, Stumbos, Geraldine Donnelly, you can hear the call, Jer. And it's Charmaine Hooper. Charmaine Hooper goes down under the tackle of Claire Taylor. Stumbos just bounces off Deborah Bampton. Bampton following up. Looking for Coulthard, top of the area. Coulthard goes down. No whistle, and Kathy Ross will bring it back the other way. Too far for Angela Kelly. Mates. Kelly gets back neatly to clear. Geraldine Donnelly. Stumbos. Hooper. Following up is Neal. Now wide right is Burtini. This is Stumbos. Geraldine Donnelly helps and finds some space, and there's the whistle from Miss Eva Odland. And after nearly 50 minutes of play, England and Canada are scoreless in this opening game of the Women's World Cup of Soccer. Welcome back to TSN's coverage of this opening game of the Women's World Cup of Soccer from Helsingborg, Sweden. England and Canada just underway. No score after 45 minutes and no substitutions to begin this second half of play. Claire Taylor with the bicycle kick to hook it back. O'Brien, Donnelly. Two Canadian bookings in that opening half. One of them to the captain, Geraldine Donnelly. And the other to Helen Stumbos. How can the Canadians get away from all those midfielders of England? Do you start to play the long ball and try to just get right by them, or do you try to work the ball through them?
No, I think Sylvia said at halftime, look, we're outnumbered 5-4 in midfield. We just want to drop one of the three strikers back, either Charmaine or Helen Stumbos, and leave Silvana Burtini to do the challenging. It looked as if when they lined up in that first little scrimmage in midfield that they sort of were man-to-man, and there were more than enough red shirts there. But that long ball, come the end of the game, could catch Canada out simply because it's very tiring to turn and chase all the time.
The weather is overcast and warm in Helsingborg. Following up was Samantha Britton. Spacey. Looking for Karen Farley. Does well to get it across, but then no other English player in sight.
That's 3-4 times we've seen either side break on the left, knock a ball across, and nobody's been there to tap it in.
Nice play by Charmaine Hooper to get away from Tina Mapes. The 2-3s meeting, and it'll go for a Canadian throw-in.
And not a very good run by Silvana Burtini there. She filled the hole that Charmaine Hooper was going to run into. Eventually, when Charmaine pushed the ball forward, Silvana was in no position to do anything with it.
Hooked in and pulled down by Pauline Cope.
Gets around, doesn't she? Marie-Anne Spacey. She's covered every inch of this field.
Seen a lot of the ball. Michelle Ring skips by Spacey to Burtini. Goes wide left, and here's a chance. A break now as Mapes goes down. Stumbos is wide left. You can see Hooper trying to fill the space, and then the ball, instead of curving back, Curve to the keeper, Pauline Cope.
But Charmaine Hooper had taken up excellent position there. She hesitated, she was hanging back, ready to make a run in, but the ball just a little too close to the goalkeeper.
Angela Kelly plays it right back, square. Following up, Gillian Coulthard goes down.
That's quite the battle between Angela Kelly, number 13 for Canada, and number 6, Gillian Coulthard for the English side.
Marie-Anne Spacey saw the opening and took it. Wins the battle in the air over Geraldine Donnelly. This is Burke. Coulthard into the middle. Now they look for Farley, top of the box. Oh, off the bar, Bampton, and there is Carla Chin. It's still loose. Played back by Semper. Moving up, Spacey, and finally cleared away in desperation by Canada. Britain has moved up for England. But England with the best chance of the game as Carla Chin forced to palm it off the bar and then unable to gather it back in.
Well, this really is a beautiful save by Carla Chin. She stretches every inch of her fingertips, then just challenges again enough to put Karen Walker off balance. Number 8, Deborah Bampton, hit that ball high. It was dipping viciously, and little Carla Chin did ever so well to keep it out.
Farley for Coulthard. Michelle Ring. Gillian Coulthard from Doncaster, plays for the Doncaster Bells, and they'll leave it for Spacey.
This English side physically looks much stronger than Canada. One has to wonder, as we get towards the end of the game, if that advantage in their physical strength will help them.
Played 6 minutes of this second half. Still no score. Canada and England.
And Marie-Anne Spacey takes all the set pieces.
Far post, headed straight up and down. You notice, though, one of the things that Carla Chin almost, and it's just maybe a technical thing, seems to leap first and then come down and is almost on the ground when the ball gets there.
Well, it's very awkward when you've got one eye on the ball and one eye on a big player like Karen Walker.
Dumbos, Hooper, square. Oh, goodness, it looked to be running perfectly for Geraldine Donnelly, who'd moved up. Cope, midfield, skips by Michelle Ring. Over the head of Burtini. Now a little confusion. Burtini and Stumbos, neither knowing which one should go. And Hooper, Bampton. This is Mapes for England. Looking for Spacey. Spacey hooks it. A little shove by Spacey on Kathy Ross, and the foul is on Marie-Anne Spacey. I tell you, the English appear to have a little bit more quickness to begin this second half. O'Brien tried to slide it through for Stumbos of Canada. Stumbos, Veronica O'Brien, right wing. by Karen Burke. Lays it back now. Andrea Neal. And she just floats it into the open arms of Pauline Cope. Ted Copeland manages, coaches this English team in their first appearance at a Women's World Cup, having failed to qualify for 91 in China. Hooper, oh, Hooper, one touch too many. Hooper trying to get through and got a foot to it, but it was Brenda Semper who was back defensively for England. The 1994 Canadian Women's Player of the Year, that is Charmaine Hooper. Spacey does well to turn and find Karen Farley. Farley plays it square. This is Coulthard. Coulthard trying to turn. Here's Fairley again, and Farley goes down. And the referee, Eva Odland, is pointing at the spot.
Well, watch Michelle Ring come in from behind. Whistle goes right away. And Michelle Ring really can't be totally frustrated with that decision. When you come in from behind, it's almost always a free kick, and in the box, not much chance there. Carla Chin will face Gillian Coulthard, the little midfielder who has been coming more into the game as the game progresses, will take the responsibility.
Gillian Coulthard plays with the Doncaster Bells, has an opportunity early in this second half to give England the lead. Carla Chin, oh, Carla Chin guessed correctly, got a hand to it, but still couldn't stop. And the opening goal in this Women's World Cup goes to England. In the 55th minute.
Well, Gillian Coulthard got the goal, but this is a sloppy penalty kick. Carla Chin guesses right, gets a piece of it, but cannot prevent it from bouncing underneath her arm into the net. Good effort by Carla Chin. Pretty sloppy effort by Gillian Coulthard, but it's 1-0 England nevertheless, and the all-important first goal will give them the impetus. And one has to wonder, especially Charmaine Hooper, who didn't get the call in the first half, if the referee is going to be as inconsistent as this for the rest of the game.
It'll rattle off and go for a Canadian corner,
which will obviously be taken by Helen Stumbos as Marie-Anne Spacey takes all the corners and free kicks for England. Helen Stumbos does for Canada.
Stumbos headed away. Angela Kelly following up.
Wasn't a bad effort by Angela Kelly. Tried to curve it to the far post and get one of the red shirts, but just put a little too much pace on it. Certainly Canada don't deserve to be trailing 1-0 in this game on their overall performance so far. But it's goals that count, not possession.
Doesn't fall very kindly for the Canadians there. Now following up, Andrea Neal. Geraldine Donnelly looks forward as Silvana Burtini. Burtini one-on-one with Semper.
And that's about the first time in this game that we've seen Silvana Burtini with about 3 yard space in which to turn and go at somebody.
Nice try from that left wing by Andrea Neal, who had moved up, starting left fullback.
But so far, Pauline Cope has had a fairly easy game. All the shots have been from outside the box. High crosses that are relatively easy for the English goalkeeper and not much of a challenge to date.
Michelle Ring looking for Burtini on that left wing. Mapes with the throw in. Burke for England. Veronica O'Brien there to defend. Karen Walker took a little shot in the back from the Canadian defender, and she went down. Hooper nods it back, looking for O'Brien. Following up is Donnelly again, looking for the return, and it'll go for a corner. Sense a little bit of urgency now in the Canadian attack, having fallen behind 1-0.
And yet Ted Copeland, the English coach, is still playing with 3 at the back. Britton, Taylor and Mapes. However, Walker and Spacey are not too slow to come back.
Stumbos to take this corner. Canada trailing 1-0. Mapes heads it away as she was guarding that near post. Spacey. Claire Taylor and the keeper, Cope. At midfield, Veronica O'Brien. Janine Wood. Donnelly. 15 minutes played. Hooper trying to turn. Karen Walker at midfield for England's Farley. Veronica O'Brien, and it's Mapes making the run. Mapes, who starts in that back 3, loves to come forward for England.
I'm not quite sure why Ted Copeland gives these English players numbers. They play everywhere. They seem to just flit in and out of positions with nobody really having the responsibility to cover any particular part of the field. That's with the exception of Britton and Taylor, the 2 centre-backs, of course.
Another throw in for England.
And Pauline Cope, the goalkeeper.
And Mapes. Farley, edge of the area, does well to hook it in. Karen Walker, the intended English player, but Carla Chin jumped in front. 1-0. England on the penalty goal by Gillian Coulthard at 55 minutes.
For this shot by Jer Connolly onto the bar, and then it broke for Charmaine Hooper, who was surrounded by white shirt. And Sylvie saying, keep it up, we need to get the next goal. Great effort by Jer Donnelly. Jer Donnelly and Veronica O'Brien have certainly taken over midfield in this half.
Spacey, near sideline for England. Oh my goodness, Karen Farley absolutely climbed all over the back of Michelle Ring to win that ball for England.
And they persist with these long balls, knocking them between the red shirts so that 2 or 3 front runners can break quickly.
Walker tried to heel it back, but it was well played by Kathy Ross, who was there defensively. Karen Burke for England. Veronica O'Brien for Canada. Tina Mapes will float it in. Angela Kelly. And Hooper tried to give it back instead of maybe controlling for Burtini. Oh, Silvana Burtini, as you suggested earlier, one-on-one, looks very impressive.
If she can get time to turn and go at her marker, then she can knock it past her and run it. But it's been very difficult. She's had her back to the English goal most of the time she's received the pass. Twice she's got it with time to turn and has looked very impressive.
Karen Burke for England. Veronica O'Brien nicely played. Now down that left wing for Helen Stumbos. Claire Taylor defensively for England. Stumbos. Semper Stumbos. Helen Stumbos, who won a CIAU championship with Laurier in 1992, turned and just put it over the bar. It remains 1-0 England.
And you have to think that Helen Stumbos would have led that ball off had any of the red shirts been able to get up to support. Silvana Burtini was up at the far post, but 3 white shirts in between her, and it looks as if it's another timeout.
And the Canadians have called their second, allowed 1 each half.
If I like the timeout, I'm a bit of a traditionalist. It gives the coaches a chance to have a little chat with the players, gives them a chance to have a little drink, but I think it interrupts the flow of the game, which is so very important in soccer.
Sitting on the sideline, I don't think you can get much closer. Do you need those glasses?
Well, if his eyes are like mine, maybe he does. Canada look nice and fresh. They look strong. They've been very aggressive. But as I said, they really have a physical disadvantage playing against this English squad.
Hold that middle. Support, okay? Now, we're going to come on. As the game's got to clean a two-full, we've got to work a little bit harder constant. Watch the shots.
Well, Ted Copeland there was saying, hold that middle and support, which means if you're going to knock the through ball through to the front runners, you've got to get up and help them. Just as Canada should have got up to help Helen Stumbos in that last attack. So very important. You've got to break from midfield if you're only playing with 2 front runners.
Sylvie Bellevaux, the Canadian head coach, is the only female head coach at this year's Women's World Cup.
Once again, Canada, a trendsetter. 11 men coaching, and Sylvie, the lone lady from Canada. Way to go, Sylvie. And Pauline Kopp, who's had a pretty easy game so far, caught daydreaming on that nice effort by Ger Donnelly. Little fortunate that she was able to knock it against the crossbar, not just once, but twice. I must say Canada's back 4 have played very, very well.
Coulthard for Karen Walker, lays it back. Mapes. Walker makes the run on the right. And Hooper following up brings Mapes down, and Mapes is still down. Farley with Ring over, and it will go as an English corner, it would appear.
What a good challenge by Stitch, the Canadian skipper, to just get a challenge in on Karen Farley as she went to cross it. Good timing. Has to be perfect these days, because if it's late or early, the whistle goes.
Brianne Spacey, far post.
Karen Walker got to it first, but 3 red shirts challenging made it impossible for her to get it on target. And a little urgency shown by Carla Chin as she gets the ball back in play as soon as possible. Oops, punchy.
Silvana Burtini. Oh, goodness. Squirted between the 2 defenders who played it back and almost gave the advantage to Burtini. Stumbos again looking for Hooper, and in desperation it was Semper as the back 4 now, the back 3 of England a little confused.
What a timely challenge by number 11 Brenda Semper, who just nicked it off the toe of Charmaine Hooper.
Stumbos, Hope. Hooper tried to get a head in and couldn't. Ross chips it right back, looking for Stumbos, deep on the right wing. Stumbos trying to turn and will go as a Canadian throw-in.
I tell you, we mentioned how Marie-Anne Spacey and Karen Walker are covering every inch of the field. Helen Stumbos has covered twice as much ground as them. What a terrific game she's having. Left wing, right wing, midfield. Brilliant.
Andrea Neal looking for Burtini, and it fell to her. She got in behind her mark, but then just scooted away as soon as it hit the turf.
Little over casual head back to the keeper there that could have been very dangerous. And guess who's going to take this?
Once again, it's Helen Stumbos. She studies physical education at Laurier. Cleared away neatly. Angela Kelly right back and feed up. Helen Stumbos, it appears. No, it isn't. It's Veronica O'Brien that had the feed up. Trying to keep my ponytail straight. Couldn't. It's Veronica O'Brien, though.
Well, you know that Angela's got the blonde ponytail. Veronica's got the dark ponytail. And 5 of the English players, most confusing, have got the headbands.
Midfield following up. Mapes. Coulthard. Spacey. Oh, Ross gets the foot in. Does well and then just pushes a little too far. Nice play, though, by Kathy Ross.
Good play, and it was only the sliding tackle of Samantha Britton that forced Kathy to put it into touch. Roscoe, little unlucky there.
Substitution for the English, and they're going to bring out Tina Mapes wearing number 3, and coming in wearing number 2 is 28-year-old Hope Powell from Croydon.
Well, that's not a bad move. Tina Mapes has played very well. She's made a lot of overlaps, obviously feeling a little tired, so a pair of fresh legs for Ted Copeland. Oh.
Spacey looking to hook it into that far post.
And you'll notice that when the English break on the wings, there's no thought at all about hitting a hard and low cross. They're determined to test Carla Chin with these high lobs.
Stumbos, Hooper, plays it back. Neal. Canada trailing 1-0 on the goal by Gillian Coulthard off a penalty kick. 10 minutes into this second half. Stumbos. Headed away by Samantha Britton. English very, very tall at the back, looking for Kelly in the middle. And the foul, it appears, will go against Kelly as
she made another perfect tackle. It's hard to tell why that whistle keeps going at times. Nice play by Helen Stumbuss, hard and low cross, good challenge by Angela Kelly. Free kick for England.
Hope Powell with her first touch. Coming in for Tina Mapes. Neal gets up, flicks it forward. Kelly flicks it a little further. Bampton. Claire Taylor following up for England.
And it's just about now that you have to think that Canada will be feeling the strain of the effort they put out. As I said, they're not such a physical side as England.
Advantage given by Ava Odland. Cut in and just by the far post. Karen Farley is the injured English player.
She did well to get to that cross. Took a little rap for her troubles.
15 minutes remaining, 1-0 England. This all-important opening game of the Women's World Cup. The English side, the Nigerian side are two teams that the Canadians coming in were optimistic playing and winning against. The Norwegians, on the other hand, the runners-up 4 years ago, would be a different matter. Gillian Coulthard, the goal scorer on the penalty kick.
Well, she's had quite a battle with Angela the whole game. Angela's elbow catches her right flush on the cheek. Two little midfielders going hammer and tongs at each other.
Hope Powell is up. Silvana Burtini has dropped back now to Graham. And another substitution signaled in by Ava Odland. And this will be another substitution for England. Coming out, Karen Walker. And coming in, Carrie Davis from Croydon.
Well, it's not tough to imagine that Croydon is regarded as being one of the best ladies' club sides in England, well represented in this World Cup side. And again, a good move by Ted Copeland, just as we said with Tina Mapes. Karen Walker has had a lot of overlaps. She's made some good runs forward. So fresh legs of Kerry Davis should help the English. Sylvie so far has yet to use her bench.
And in women's international play, you're allowed 3 substitutions. The English have made 2. Cut in, cleared away as Chin came stretching out and in danger of leaving herself out of position. Following up and cleared away finally by Michelle Ring. This is Hooper. Canada trailing 1-0. Claire Taylor over in the yellow headband and then coming back, Spacey.
Canada appealed for, didn't get it. As the substitute Kerry Davis controlled the ball with her arm.
Oh, the through ball looking for Helen Stumbuss, just curved away from her.
And look at her chase back. Look at Helen Stumbuss chase back.
Looking for Farley, and out comes Chin. Well played by Carla Chin.
And that has to be a free kick.
Hope Powell putting the shoulder into the back of Helen Stombos. The two deuces coming together.
You're going to say deuces are wild next.
No, I won't. I won't say that
Good,
at all.
good.
It remains 1-0 England on the penalty kick goal by Gillian Coulthard at 55 minutes. Bampton, through ball, Farley comes to the left wing now for Spacey. Spacey one-on-one with Ross, getting over again. This is Spacey, cuts it back. Farley trying to control, hooks it. Kelly can't clear. Following up, Gillian Coulthard goes down. And that foot in, and the referee has pointed at the spot again.
Well, you be the judge. As Coulthard goes through, little challenge. She takes a couple of steps, then decides to go down. And the first penalty definitely was a penalty, but that one leaves a lot to be desired.
And the Canadians will make a substitution. Kathy Ross is coming out, and going in wearing number 15, Suzanne Muir, the 24-year-old from the Coquitlam Strikers.
Come on, come on.
Wow.
No question about that.
Marie-Anne Spacey, and it is 2-0 England.
Marie-Anne Spacey, for my money, has been the best English player by a mile. No finesse here. She just wraps it through Carla Chin right in the middle of the goal. Goalkeeper's guess. She decides to hit it right through the little goalkeeper. No chance for Chin. And Marie-Anne Spacey is certainly a quality player.
So with under 10 minutes to play, Canada find themselves 2 goals down on 2 penalty kicks.
And that's a little bit depressing for Canada, who have enjoyed as much of the ball as England, who pushed it around nicely, to be given 2 penalty kicks against and trailing 2-0 when they could really have been 1-1 or 1-0 up is very disheartening. But they've got a great spirit, so never say die. You never know in this game.
Once again, they float the long ball through. No problem for the English keeper, Pauline Cope.
And Pauline has been mopping these up all day. The balls have been hit just a little too firmly and going a little too far. And instead of dropping between the centre backs and the goalkeeper, they're going straight through to the keeper, making it very difficult for Hooper, Burtini, or Stombos to get to them.
Another impressive player has been Karen Farley, who picks up the booking.
Probably for a little comment. She's been niggling a bit at the referee, Eva Udland, the whole game. Nice player to have on your side for Strong. Ooh, that was heading for the back of the net.
Charmaine Hooper just couldn't slide it through the last defender.
But there were 4 last defenders. Look how well the white shirts get back. They seem to cover the holes so brilliantly.
Nice sliding tackle by Karen Burke to take it away from Andrea Neal, who had moved up.
Beautiful tackle by Karen Burke. Excellent timing. And then she regains possession and brings it forward.
2-0 England. Coulthard gives it away as now all the white shirts are dropping back, all the red shirts coming forward. And of course, when you do that, you leave yourself short at the back, so it's dangerous for Canada, but trailing 2-0, they have no other option, really. get through as the man with the horn. The planes are arriving and the ship's coming in. The ship looks to be coming in for England. They lead 2-0.
Well, at least the horn's better than an organ. At least it's a prominent fixture for fans in Europe. And
Helen haven't forgotten the organ in Montreal.
Helen must be so tired. She's taking Emerson.
Here's a chance.
Hit it.
Muir. One time, one skip into the open arms of Pauline Cope. It works by itself.
I'm glad I'm not sitting next to him. That's all I can say. It sounds as if there's 20,000 in this ground with that horn going. Karen Walker going to take a little loosen up rather than stiffen up on the bench.
Bampton plays it back for Semper. And it just tees it up for Cope. Angela Kelly at midfield. Suzanne Muir getting her first touch. This is Muir, who'll take the throw in. Time running out on Canada in this opening game of the Women's World Cup. 5 minutes. And they trail 2-0. Burtini, one-on-one. She looks terrific. Silvana Burtini. This is Stumbos. Stumbos! Oh, goodness, it just went by the far post as it seemed to deflect off an English defender.
Just got blocked enough at the finish by number 4, Samantha Britton, to deflect it past the far post. Nice effort by Helen Stumbos.
Stumbos, the low cross, headed away from the near post. Muir now controls. Look at all the white shirts dropping back. Angela Kelly will put it up and over the bar.
I think Canada have to vary their corner kicks just a little bit more. Helen Stumbos has knocked about 7 or 8 to the near post, just about the edge of the 6-yard line, and either Claire Taylor or Samantha Britton have cleared it each time. Knock one to the far post just to make the 2 centre-backs of England a little concerned about where you're going to put it. Right now, they're just mopping it up.
Hooper trying to break through, can't, and it will go as a Canadian corner. The Canadians need goals, and they need them quickly. They trail by 2.
And Helen Stumbos on the wrong side of the field, so little Angela Kelly will take this one, and let's see if she knocks it to the far post for a change. Yes, good corner kick.
Silvana Burtini got up.
But that was a better corner kick simply because the red shirts won it. Britton and Taylor, positioned at the near post for the short one, were caught out of the play. Tell you what, goalkeepers wear nice gear these days, don't they? Very attractive uniforms.
None more so, I think, than Jorge Campos.
Well, he goes from the sublime to the ridiculous, I think, Jorge.
He's got his own, makes his own fashion statement, the Mexican keeper.
Notice how when a red shirt gets the ball and goes at one of the white shirts, another white shirt tucks in behind him.
There's always defensive support, isn't there?
Always cover, always cover. You get past one, you run into the second one. And Pauline Cope, these high balls like picking apples off a tree. Oh, and I would have said that should have been a free kick against Deborah Bampton, who just backed in. But goes the other way, and Karen Farley's complaining to the referee has paid dividends.
2-0 England. Final moments from Helsingborg, Sweden. Powell makes the nice run. Lovely run by Powell. Cuts it across. Coulthard! Oh, and it's 3-0 England. Gillian Coulthard on the end of a lovely cross by Hope Powell.
And it's incredible that one of the smallest players on the field inside the 6-yard box scores with a header. It's a nice cross, but she makes a beautiful run, a positive finish as she powers the header through Carla Chin. Good cross, nice finish by Gillian Coulthard. The little midfielder made no doubt that it was going into the net. Tough to imagine how a 5'0" player can win the ball on the edge of the 6-yard box, but it was a beautiful cross.
Final minute of regulation. It is 3-0 for England. 2 on penalties and 1 very well taken goal there by Gillian Coulthard. Stumbus palmed over the bar.
And not a bad play, Vic, by Pauline Cope. She didn't want to take the risk of putting it into play with all these red shirts there. Palmed behind for a corner, and let's see if Helen switches tactics.
Helen Stumbus. Oh, goodness. Helen Stumbus. Through the defenders and through the open arms of Hope Powell, she curved it in from the corner. And it's 3-1. But how much time to be added on?
Well, Helen Stumbus decided to knock this one to the far post for a change. It wasn't a very good corner kick, but it goes right through the arms of Pauline Cope as she tries to put it over the crossbar for another corner. Better look at it from here. Look at the goalkeeper try and palm it, completely misses it. Number 11, Sempari on the line, can't stop it. 3-1, but Canada running out of time. And certainly, Helen Stumbus deserved the goal, albeit unorthodox. She's certainly been the best player for Canada today. And having said that, Donnelly and O'Brien have been pretty close.
Spacey, who has one of the penalty goals for England. Helen Stumbus, by our record, scores her first international goal in her 17th appearance for Canada. Karen Burke can't get away from Janine Wood, who is back defensively for Canada. But the Canadians
number 9s have had a battle, Vic. I beg your pardon, sorry to interrupt you. They've been hammer and tongs all day.
Give away the throw-in, though, as the English now sensing that they will win this one. They're up 3-1, but the question is time, and that's up to Eva Odland. And we know from the first half she added nearly 5 minutes.
And there was another timeout taken by Canada, so that will add on a good minute and a half. And certainly no lack of effort. They're maintaining the pressure, Canada, and it looks as if it's England that's struggling a little bit now. But have Canada left it too late?
Farley trying to get away through the middle. Head for Veronica O'Brien. That didn't work. Hooper quickly with the throw-in. Angela Kelly is moving up. Stumbus in support. This is Muir.
That's away. Play the feet.
Muir and back from Kelly. Neal has followed up. Donnelly tried to get ahead in. Burtini is there. The Canadians trail 3-1.
Oh, little push, would you say?
Little push from Karen Farley on Michelle Ring isn't called by Ava Odland. Still looking at her watch. Still hasn't blown the whistle. Muir cuts it in, looking for Hooper. Doesn't get through, and it's cleared away by Claire Taylor. Knotted down. This is Donnelly. Skipping it through. And under some pressure, it is Hope Powell who will give away the throw-in. You can't imagine there's much time left. Coulthard clearing. Powell following up for England. 3-1, the English leading. No hint that Ava Odland is even going to blow the whistle. Burtini cuts it back. Donnelly! Geraldine Donnelly, and it's 3-2. And how much time is left now?
High fives on the Canadian bench as Burtini sets one up on a plate for Geraldine Donnelly. She makes no mistake as she wraps it past Pauline Cope. 3-2. Great cutback by Burtini. Beautiful finish by Donnelly, who's come up to support. 3-2. But we're in injury time. Well into injury time.
5 minutes has been added on. It is 3-2. Geraldine Donnelly with her 7th international goal for Canada. The Canadian captain out of Port Moody, BC.
And you have to wonder if Canada had started this constant pressure a little earlier, would it have been a different result? Certainly a brave comeback in the last 5 minutes, as every one of the red shirts gives her all.
Once again into the area, Muir. Oh, Muir mishit it when it looked like it was there for her left foot. Here's Muir again, and finally cleared away. No whistle, no fouls by the English.
Marie-Anne Spacey twice blocking the shots there as the red shirts just piled forward.
Kelly with the throw-in. One last opportunity, perhaps.
And I would bring everybody up now, even little Carla Chin, just position her at the near post. One last gasp effort. Every red shirt should be up.
It's there, Burtini. Oh, and it'll just skip by.
And this is exactly what England wanted, a goal kick, as the final touch for Ring was just not there. Pauline Cope now will take her time.
Still waiting for the whistle from Ava Odland. Go into the book as a 3-2 win by England in this opening game of the Women's World Cup. 2 of the goals coming on penalties. Oh my, I don't know. If you look at one was questionable to say the least. 3-2, maybe not an indicative score.
Certainly not a reflection of the run of play. 3-2 for England flatters the team in white. Canada, a very brave effort, and I feel they can be rightly complaining about the penalty kick that was given for the first goal. But 3-2 it is for England, and Canada, well, they look forward to the next game against Nigeria with a lot of confidence after that performance.
The final score, England 3, Canada 2, the opening game, the Women's World Cup from Sweden, here on TSN.